Grind don't stop. 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 Grind don't stop.
Hi, everybody. I almost started on mute, but I didn't. So everybody say good job.
Good job.
Today is August 4th. And obviously this is Chewed Gum on Tuesday, like Alyssa would say. If you're a theist, we would love for you to call in. We would love anybody to call in, but also especially theists, so we can, have a little chat. We don't bite. And you can call at 720-619-2288. And I'm your host, Taylor, and we have Sarah with us today, which I'm so excited about.
Hey.
How have you been?
Good. How about you?
Good. I feel like anytime I open my phone, I see you debating, like on, whether it's on like TikTok or whatever it is. And I'm always impressed. I'm like, man, she never gets tired of it. I feel like you're always going, and it's
Oh, God,
impressive to
no.
me.
Well, I will say, on my channel, I just do it once a week, and then I can chop it up and put little pieces of it out there. I cannot handle what Justin or Jalton do, where they're just doing it all the time. It drives me bananas.
Wait, so you only do it once a week on your own channel?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I thought you did it every day. I'm not gonna lie.
I go live a lot, but I don't debate. a
Oh,
lot.
I think I'm thinking of lives, because I guess I assume that you're debating, maybe even if you're not.
Oh yeah, no. So my lives most of the time, only Sundays I do debates, but then almost all the other lives are just let's sit and chat. And
Yeah.
I don't bring up callers, so I'll still get some angry Christians in my comments, but it's a lot more chill, and I can just read the comments that are
Yeah.
on track, and it's
Yeah.
that's easy
Yeah.
compared to debating, which is so draining.
Yeah, it really is, because when I thought you did it more, oh my gosh, I had a fruit fly last week that wouldn't leave me alone, and it's back. It knows my schedule now. No, but when I thought you were doing it more, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I do this once a week and it's so exhausting to me. So I was yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense though. Because yeah, it is really exhausting.
It
And
is.
sometimes I'm in the mood for it, and sometimes I'm like, you know.
I know. Well, I had just someone in the comments, I think, saw it. I just had on Sunday, right? Tuesday, yeah. This past Sunday, the last caller I took, I had this guy come on who started with some Phil Bro stuff, and then he went into morality, and he argued that the slaughter of the Amalekites was good, and that infants are sinners, and he thinks children are not innocent and they all deserve to die. And it was I did not keep my cool. I was
Yeah.
heated, and the worst part of it, on his end, there was a baby crying in the background.
That's creepy. I would not like that at all.
It was awful.
Wait,
It's
so
oh,
I'm interested. I would be interested to know if they're pro-life then.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure he's pro-life.
Oh my gosh.
But he did specify that he is pro-death penalty.
Yeah, I feel like most people who are pro-life are pro-death penalty.
Mhm.
because I think I consider myself against it. Not that I've done like major research into it, but I think in general I do just because,
Yeah.
it's a flawed system. But yeah, I feel like most of the time they are like for death penalty and they're typically all for funding wars and stuff, which I just find obviously it's ironic. All of that is
Yeah.
ironic. But that makes me think of I saw who is that famous like debater who was on college campuses? Is it
Oh, Cliff
starts with
Nechtel?
yes, and he was I don't know who was debating or talking to, but they were talking about, one of the situations in the Bible where God was having people go out and slaughter other people, and he was asked like what if you and your
Oh,
family
yeah,
were the ones
yeah.
being like attacked? Would you just let them kill you and your family? I thought that was such a good question because I saw him struggling. I don't remember what his
Oh, well, Taylor
Uh-oh.
just said goodbye.
Oh no. Can you all still hear me? Did we just lose Taylor?
Yeah, I think just Taylor.
Okay. Well, we are going to assume she will be right back. Um, oh, can you still see me? It looks slow on my end.
I think we can still see you.
Okay. Oh, well, Taylor will be back soon. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, but she was referring to like Cliff and I I have like his son, Stuart Nechtel, has uh his own account and everything. And I have called him out on my account several times because he does such dishonest, grifty kind of things. And it really bugs me. Like he runs undisclosed ads for the Creed app, which is just like this AI Bible app, and he doesn't and he said like I want to see you in hell. I mean, not in hell. I want to see you in heaven, bestie. Here, get your Creed streak going. I was like, oh my gosh, you are using the threat of hell to sell an AI app on an undisclosed ad. Ugh, he drives me bananas. Um, so yeah, that's my particular issue there. So, hi friends. It'll just be me for a little while. Um, until I knew Taylor's just having technical difficulties, so I think she'll be back in a minute. And then if we do get a call, I'll go ahead and take it. We will see. But in the meantime, I think I can see the comments. So if you all have any comments or any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Probably most of you are familiar with who I am, maybe, but if not, hi, I'm Sara, and I run a channel called Leaving Faith, and I was an evangelical Christian for the first like 25 years of my life or so. And then I became an agnostic atheist, is how I categorize that. Um, and some of the big issues for me is the doctrine of hell. That's a big one that I take issue with, and um, the inerrancy of the Bible. That was kind of like step 2 in my deconstruction. So yeah, now I have been an agnostic atheist for 17 years. Yeah. So it's been a while. Well, thanks, friends. Hi. Yeah. So, welcome in. Welcome to my office. Oh, wait, this is mirrored. That's weird. These are my llamas. And I also made a new one. This little frog here. It's so weird moving in a mirrored image. This is Elmer the frog, and he's wearing a little blackberry as a top hat. In case anyone was interested. Okay, well, let's see. We don't have a caller screened yet. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I get a lot of people, the comment says, thank you so much for using agnostic and atheist correctly. Oh, I can show you. Oh, we have a call. Okay. I'm going to take the call. This is Jason from New Zealand. Hello, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good, thanks. It's a bit frosty here, but yeah, otherwise good.
Well, that's good. Well, what can I do for you?
Yeah, well, I've noticed a pattern lately of there's been a lot more women hosts on the line. You know, the women are taking things over there, and I think it's amazing. Not because you're women, but because you're also so capable at what you do, and yeah,
Thanks.
I've really been impressed with the way that I've seen you guys hold your ground in a sort of a calm and centered way. And with you particularly, Sarah, I like both the way that you sort of calmly retort to stuff, but also the emotion and indignation that you present sometimes at things that are truly horrific.
Thanks.
Because
Yeah.
I think that emotional aspect is really necessary. You know, I don't think we need to be trying to meet these kind of robotic debate bros on their own ground, especially where, you know, they'll call us out for being too emotional, but then turn around and have an absolute hissy fit in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I certainly do my best to try and keep things nice and chill and level. However, I have definitely, yes, expressed some indignation. Yeah. So that is very true.
And it's totally warranted. It's totally warranted, and it just comes across as so, you know, sincere and very appropriate. I was also going to comment about the call that Taylor and Alyssa took with Martine last week, but I don't know if that's really appropriate, seeing as neither of them are on the call at the moment.
Oh, we just got Taylor back.
Just a bit of.
Sorry, I feel so bad.
Hello,
I was
Taylor.
frantically trying to fix this. I was like, poor Sarah, this isn't even her show, and I just left her all by herself. Okay, I'm back. Oh my God. I was going to look whack for a little
awesome.
bit.
And right on cue.
Yeah. Right
on cue. That's perfect timing. I was just saying that I watched your call with Martine that you and Alyssa took last week. And I just thought it was amazing. Like, you guys did an amazing job of just, because one of the things that I despair about sometimes with the discussions that happen in this space is that a lot of people let these apologists get or the MAGA people get away with too much. You know, like, we want to entertain some of their bullshit, but you and Alyssa just hit all of his bullshit, and just, you know, you're such a good team, just taking it in turns, just to
I'm trying to
knock down all
remember
this crap, and I love.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm trying to remember which one he. I was trying to remember which one he was last week, because I feel like we had all theists last week. So can you remind me what he was talking about?
He was the sort of really resistant MAGA guy who wasn't going to take any of your points. He was just moving from the next one to the next one. He's talked to a lot of other hosts on the different programs, and he's been banned.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because and I thought it was also great how when Alyssa was talking with him, you were just sort of muttering under your breath how done you were with him, because it just showed how totally bad faith he was. I think it was really worth calling out as well.
Thanks. I appreciate.
Just oh, cool,
Go ahead.
cool.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all good. The boys should watch what you guys have been doing and take notes, I think. But anyway, and I think in general, there's a lot of concern with the tribalism, especially over there in the States. But it's coming up as well, even down here at the bottom of the world. And I think, but I think tribes can be a good thing. Like if we intentionally try to create our own tribes, because I think some of the natural categories that we see might not be good ways to see the world. So, for example, like at the moment, you guys could take the stance of, we stand with women, we're going to be pro-women, et cetera. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of trad wives saying, let's throw away women's votes. Let's subjugate ourselves to men as much as possible. So yeah, I think moving forward, we need to resist the easy categorizations of letting, and I think it's a strategy that especially people on the right, conservatives in general, tend to do, is they try and break us up into these natural seeming groupings, and that stops us from coming together and resisting all the bullshit that they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean, that sometimes, obviously having kind of like I don't know if tribal mindset is the right word, can be a good thing and also bad, depending on how you use it. But my biggest issue with like how Martain was when people try and make, I guess what you want to call wokeism, seem like such a threat to this country. They always mention something in California that didn't even go through any kind of like a bill that didn't happen or an idea that didn't get off the ground. And I just think it speaks volumes that typically they bring that kind of stuff up because there's nothing else to bring up that's actually tangible. I feel like my patience is pretty not there for that. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and thanks so much for the kind words, Jason. We appreciate you calling.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
Oh, I was just saying, and we appreciate the kind words, and thanks so much for all the positive affirmations for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all right. It must be weird because obviously you guys have got a huge audience, but you can't hear us when you're on the stage, clapping and cheering, and that's definitely what I was doing. Last week, in particular, because it's so good to see these, all this bullshit being fought against in a really calm and competent way. But I know what you mean, Taylor. Like they'll jump from something non-existent, like litter boxes in classrooms, to something else that's non-existent, like an epidemic of trans children, who it's just there's so many and so often it's just total bullshit, and that's what I loved about the call last week, is that you guys were both just telling him, no, we're not not entertaining any of this. This is total bullshit. Yeah, so that was great. I do
Thank
think
you.
I do think there are some there are a few aspects of the religious and even a couple of conservative positions that do have a little bit of merit. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. So maybe I'll call back another time and talk about that. But yeah.
Yeah, you definitely should. And we appreciate you calling in today for some positive words because, sometimes we need that in between all the other fun stuff. So we appreciate you calling.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Now, 1 second. Okay. So again, call in, please, especially theists at 720-619-2288. We would love to chat with you guys, especially if you're in either me or Sarah's comment sections all the time, wanting to have conversation or debate. But I feel like not a lot of people come from. Do you feel like a lot of people come from any or other channels to talk to you on the line, Sarah?
Not often, no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't know where they all go.
Yeah. Oh, we had someone and they dropped. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that was that person. Never mind. We have 2 callers.
Okay, perf. Okay, are you ready to? One is, I'm still learning this.
Okay. Do you want me to answer? I know I can pull him up.
I was making sure because never mind. Just ignore me. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
the next one.
So this is John. He's a theist from Colorado and wants to know how deconstruction is logical.
Hi, John.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. So this show is usually only on Sundays?
Tuesdays. We have other shows
I'm sorry.
though.
So it's,
There's other
what days
shows
are you on?
on Tuesdays.
Mainly Tuesdays. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yep.
was just curious about, well, you said you deconstructed. I was just curious
Yes.
how you went through that.
There are a lot of moving parts, but I feel like the main thing was I was having what I guess I would call a faith crisis of not being sure of what I believed. And so I tried to dig deeper into it and tried to find answers to things I had questions for. And the more I did that, the more my belief system and Christianity seemed to fall apart. And some of that involved watching debates, some of that involved reading the Bible and asking other Christians, their answers or thoughts to things. And it just pretty quickly started falling apart the deeper I dove into that. I mean, that's such a short, simplified answer. Sarah, what would you say for your answer?
Yeah, and it is such a hard thing to articulate
Yeah.
I can't say like 1, 2, 3, here's what
Right.
happened. But certainly it was.
So, well, I mean, at one point it made sense to you, but then when you really looked into it, then it didn't make sense anymore.
Right.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Oh, I mean, do you want to hear my answer too, or did you have a question that you want us to address more specifically?
Well, apologetics. You looked into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've talked to plenty of people that talk about that subject, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've studied, maybe not studied, but you've learned a lot about logic and physics and science and all these things, right?
Well, my knowledge of that stuff is super basic, but Sarah is smarter when it comes to that.
But you did look into it.
Yeah, I mean, I went to college and I learned about evolution and stuff like that, if that's what you mean. Like the
What
regular.
did you study in college mainly? What took your interest?
Community advocacy and social policy was I majored in that in sociology, double major.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
But I was gonna say, but that did play a role in my deconstruction too, because of the more I learned about, just studying communities in general, it made me realize that a lot of the stuff I've been taught wasn't very true. But even just taking basic biology, basic classes where I learned about evolution, it made complete sense to me. And I'd been told a lot of lies of what evolution was. And so that definitely played a big role in my deconstruction, I would say, when it comes to education.
what do you think about evolution? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
What do
convincing.
you think about evolution, John?
Well, I suppose on its face, it does make sense. But
Okay.
once you dig deeper into it, organic biological chemistry, well, that makes no sense at all.
Okay, so what
And
is
that's
your
not just one
highest
thing.
level of
There's a
science
lot of other things.
education?
I'm sorry?
What is your highest level of science education?
My highest level of education would be about the ninth grade high school level. And my reading level is probably about third grade level, I think, in terms of grammar,
Okay.
as far as I can tell.
So when you say like what you said the phrase like when you really dig into it, if you haven't taken advanced biology courses, advanced chemistry courses, how did you how did you dig further into it? Like what does that mean?
Well, it's not really digging. I'm really just listening to other people who specialize in those areas of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people who are professors in that area of thinking. That's all. Certain mathematicians who were well respected, Oxford, whatever. You know what I mean?
So
I'm
these
kind of
people that
listening to those
you're
people. It's not like I understand because that would take a long time to learn all that stuff.
It does take a long time to learn it. Yeah, for sure. The people that you listen to, if you want to understand evolution, are you finding the best evolutionary biologists to listen to, or are you finding people who are part of a primarily religious organization that are using their credentials, say, in mathematics or physics to debunk evolution, which is not their area of expertise?
Well, let me be truthful, right? I don't know about that stuff. I mean, that would take
Yeah.
a really long time. I don't even think I could be a medical doctor just to get through the medical information to become just a regular medical doctor. I mean, it's that
Sure.
complicated, much less a professor or something. That
So
would
then
take me,
what
me personally, 20 or 30 years.
right. So
But
my
these
question
are
then
people who are
would
not
be
religious. They weren't religious to begin with. They
to begin with.
assumed their positions academically, and they rose to a point of prominence in the academic sphere that they exist in, and that's why people listen to them, because they have studied it, they do understand it, and
So,
that's why we
but
listen to
again,
them.
wait, if
But I
you
suppose
are
it is
trying
about
to
maybe faith, I
get
suppose, because I don't
information, John, wait,
understand.
hang on, John. If you're trying to
Yeah.
find information about evolution, a mathematician or a physicist or an engineer is not where you should go for that information. Like, if you want the best information about evolution, you should go talk to evolutionary biologists. If you get your information on evolution from the Discovery Institute or Answers in Genesis, those organizations tell you right up front that they have a bias. It's in their mission statement. They say explicitly, hey, we're actually not doing science. We have started with our conclusion, and we're going to find science that fits the conclusion. That's in their mission statement. Like, they're not hiding that. So if any of the
And
people that
so
you're
no one
listening
has
to,
bias.
hold on. If any of the people that you're listening to work for the Creation or the Discovery Institute, the Creation Museum, Answers in Genesis, they are
Actually, I listen to Aaron Ra a lot.
they are explicitly saying they are not practicing science, because in science you have to have a hypothesis, collect data, and then draw your conclusions based on the data wherever the data take you. But if you start with the
Right.
conclusion, you are admitting you're not actually interested in finding the truth. You're only interested in supporting your conclusion. And so you should discount those people as scientists, and I would not listen to their opinions on science. If you want to listen to their opinions on theology, fine, great, but they are not practicing science.
So we're talking about bias, right?
Uh-huh.
If I'm not listening to both sides of the argument, then I'm biased, right?
So in the scientific community, there is not even an argument. Evolution has been demonstrated to be true unequivocally. There are a tiny, tiny percentage of a few people who, again, openly declare that they're actually not pursuing science that deny it. But all of our modern medicine is built on the fact that evolution is true. Like, if evolution is false, our medicines won't work. Like, our entire understanding of biology. And that's why you want to talk to a biologist if you want to learn about evolution. Don't talk to a mathematician. They don't have that same deep understanding of the field.
Well, there's still a lot of things we can't explain in the past, like the Precambrian explosion.
So again, did you hear that from a biologist, or did you hear that from someone else?
Well, it's hard to, looking back, it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
listen to both sides, really.
when you hear something like that, so if you hear phrases that commonly come up is, it's just a theory, it hasn't been proven, there are missing links, there are so many questions we don't yet understand, stuff like that. When you hear that, look at who's telling you that. Are they an evolutionary biologist? And if not, what are their qualifications? And why should you trust their interpretation over all the other experts?
Wouldn't that be a logical fallacy, listening to consensus?
No.
Just
Why?
because this person has a doctorate and is respected and came up with this theory and everybody agrees, doesn't make it true.
So
You see my point.
yes,
But
the
my
way
point
that
is,
John, the way
you
that
guys
science, John, the way that science works, we don't decide facts based on consensus. So we decide what is true and
Sometimes
false
you do.
based on experimentation. So
Direct experimentation is that's valid.
So yeah, when something is accepted as true in science, yes, it is accepted by a majority of scientists, but that's because it has been demonstrated to be true through experimentation.
Right. And those are all based on people thinking, well, it could be like this. I've got a theory about this. It might be that way. But until they got that direct experiment, it's just an idea.
Right, which is why we do have direct experiments and we do know that evolution is true.
But sometimes without a direct experiment, we just kind of assume it's that way. But my point was, of course, both of you have thought about all these things and you deconstructed, and this is what you believe now.
So neither of us are convinced that a God exists.
But we do live in a cause and effect universe. And
So-
you're aware of the main arguments for the apologetic arguments for Christianity. You're aware
Again,
of
I
those
don't think you want to make a scientific argument here.
Well, it's not really
And-
a scientific argument. It's more of a logical
Cause and
argument.
effect is a scientific argument. Yeah.
Well, it's also a logical argument. I'm
You
talking to you on
determine
this
cause
phone
and
right now
effect
through the internet
through-
because this is all following logical thinking.
So again,
Cause and
you
effect.
can use logic to create a hypothesis, but once you have your hypothesis, you then use experimentation to test if your logic was correct.
Right, and then you can start actually using that in a practical application, like this
Welcome
phone
to
I'm on
science.
right now, and the internet, and Bluetooth, and all these things.
So what's your question here?
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
Well, I'm just saying cause and effect is the main argument here.
But-
So
What's your question?
could
Do you
be
have a
wrong.
question?
The question is, no observable effect can be more than its cause in quantity or quality. So whatever caused us to exist is more than what we are.
I don't
larger
think
than
that's
the
a
universe.
scientific principle.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a.
Well,
the-
explain to me how that's wrong. Because I'm
Well,
sure
you're-
I could be wrong. I'm not that smart.
So again, I think you're barking up the wrong tree here. Like you're making a scientific claim, and we could go down that road, but it's not going to take us where you need to go. So if you're trying to say there must be some kind of creator, therefore you should believe in my particular God, I don't think there does have to be a creator. We don't have evidence that there's a creator. And the claims that you're going to make
Well,
about your
is-
particular God are not testable claims. So that's, you can't claim anything for sure when it comes to your God if your God is invisible and intangible and does not show up in a predictable, measurable way.
So this is the causal argument. And I just explained it to you.
Uh-huh.
And you have thought about this before, right?
Yeah.
So is there any instance that we can see where the effect is greater than the cause?
I don't know what you think you mean by greater. Like there are chemical reactions
In quality or quantity? We're
Yeah, so
talking
again,
about
there are
us, human beings.
John, there are chemical reactions in which the product of the two chemicals is significantly greater than the two chemicals that you put in there. So like I don't
yeah, what does greater mean to you?
We're talking about the end result here, human beings.
Okay.
So can we point to any observable effect in the universe where the effect that we observe is greater than the cause?
I mean, have you ever seen an
If you can win
explosion?
that argument, then you win. I would understand it. Say you win.
Have you ever seen an explosion?
Yeah, what about what Sara is saying? Does that not address what you're saying?
So like I just said, yes, there are
This
instances
is a very, very simple concept.
and you're not listening,
If you can
John.
point to any
John,
observable
John.
She's answering it.
John, I answered your question and you just kept talking as if I had not answered your question.
you didn't answer it.
I said there are
explosion.
John, stop. There are
exploded?
multiple chemical reactions in which the product of
Where
the
did the chemicals
reaction.
come from?
No,
But that's not
now
what
you're
you
dodging the
asked.
That's what I'm
question. Whoa,
That's not what you
whoa.
asked.
Tracing
That's not
back
what you
cause and
asked.
effect.
No, so John, you asked a specific question and I'm giving you an answer. You said, is there anything in the universe where the effect is greater than the cause? And the answer is yes,
Right.
there is.
Okay.
Right.
But what I'm saying is you thought about that, you came up with an answer, and you were like, obviously. And that helped you in your deconstruction.
Uh-huh. Where are you going with this? Like, are you wanting to just like run down all the different apologetics? Do you have a deeper question that you're trying to
No,
ask?
that's a very, very, that one is very simple. And I would really wish that you could tell me the answer to it, because I don't know
The question I
answer.
just answered?
I can't name any effect that's greater than its cause.
John,
I don't know.
John,
of
are
one.
you
There has to be one.
are
Are
you
you not listening?
are you listening to what she said? Like example she has told you when it comes to
Listening is
the
a skill.
That you do not seem to have.
that you don't possess or what?
So I gave
Well,
you
I have
an
studied
example.
listening skills. Have you?
John, I gave you an example.
Maybe go back and study.
So did you
Well,
hear
give
me
me
when
the
I gave you?
example again. What was your example? I'm sorry.
Are you going to listen to what I have to say this time?
I will try.
Okay. There are multiple chemical reactions in which the product of that reaction is much larger than the volumes of the two chemicals you began with. Perhaps, I don't know, an explosion. The product, so the effect, is much greater than the cause.
So what caused the chemicals? What caused the explosion?
I'm not going
Why
to
did
explain
that
to you
happen?
how chemistry works.
I'm saying those things came from somewhere. You can't just make them out of nothing.
That's irrelevant
Well,
to the
maybe, but-
question you're asking.
Yeah, that isn't what you asked in the first place. So, do you want to ask a different question then, or do you want to stick with what you originally asked? Because if you want to stick with what you originally asked, she answered the question, and that's what you said you wanted.
Well, you named an effect, but you didn't name the cause. You said these chemicals did this thing and then this happened. You didn't say where these chemicals came from, or even the laws of physics that managed these things to come into existence.
Well, so again, how
You
something
see what
comes
I'm
into
saying?
existence. Let's just go all the way to the end of your argument. Okay,
I'm
is
just
what you're
assuming you're smarter than me. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
okay? Then listen to me when I'm talking.
Okay.
Okay. The answer to your question is yes, if depending on what you mean by greater. So I answered yes. What's your next question?
Well, you're kind of skipping my first question. Was where did these chemicals come from?
That was not
Where
your
did the
first
physics
question.
that
That's you
managed
dodging
all
the
these
answer.
things to happen? Where did that come from?
Wait,
So,
Cause and effect. You've got to trace it all the way back, or
uh-huh.
else you have to trace it back to infinity, where there's no end.
okay, so how can we
It's gotta
trace
be
it
one
back
or the
to
other.
how can we trace it back to your God? Like, what proof do we have that it's traced back to that? Why should we
Well,
assume that it traces back to your God and not something else? Or to nothing?
well, I'm saying I only learned this because I heard it. Okay, it's not because I think it's real or that I understand it. But the
Wait, if you
logic
don't
of
think it's
cause and effect.
real, why are you on here arguing for it?
I'm not arguing for it. I'm trying to get you to convince me that I believe in a giant lie and I'm delusional.
I'm not interested
waiting
in
for that
convincing you of that.
Also,
Well, I've always hoped you guys would.
John, I am not extremely educated in science in any kind of way, and there are plenty of things I feel
But you're
comfortable
still
saying.
smart.
There's plenty of things I'm comfortable with saying that I don't know. So I guess I'm just wondering why should I assume it's a god rather than me saying I don't know the answer to something? Like why I'm trying to ask you, why should people do that?
Well, I don't know. It seems pretty important to me.
To just make something
I'd rather
up?
think I wanted. Well, I'd rather think, really, I would, that I die and then that's just the end. There's nothing else. It's over. Instead of the lake of fire. Forever.
Okay, so you're afraid
I
of
mean,
hell.
it really bugs me.
So
Of
the
course.
whole thing leads
I'm not a
back to
good
you being
person.
afraid of hell.
I'm terrible.
First of all, I don't think you deserve hell. That's something I think religion convinces you of. But it's sad to hear that you feel like you need to get to this conclusion or else you're going to burn. Does that not sound like it's just a tool being used to make you believe something, because you're telling us right now that that is working on you? Do you see why they would use that in the
It's
first
totally
place?
working on me.
Right. So why
do you
let
think
it?
I'm looking into science and logic and physics and math and all this stuff? Why do I care about any of that stuff? That's why.
Okay, so are you wanting
I
me
actually
to
believe
make the case that there is no God? Like, is that what you're trying to get out of this?
Not really. I was just wondering if, how much thinking did you put into it? I know I thought a lot about it, but I've had a lot more time than you have.
Yeah,
But anyways,
so
I've taken up enough of your time, you guys.
All
All
right.
I'm saying is I like your show, and you make us think about the subject, and that's important.
All right.
So,
Thank you, John.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Interesting.
to say.
I'm not sure what happened. I was trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I'm confused what he believes. I mean, he told us he believes, I guess, because of hell. He's afraid of hell, but then he seems to know that that is made up. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. That was confusing.
We tried. We
Okay.
tried our best. All right. Are you ready for another?
Let's do it.
All right. We will bring in another theist since we try and prioritize theists. We're bringing in Dan from Colorado. Hi, Dan.
Hi. Thank you for letting me join.
Yeah, thanks for calling. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about people that grow up with wealth.
Okay.
Pretty much talking about the rich and the poor.
In relation to religion or?
Yeah, I'm going to get to where the poor usually, because myself, I come from poor parents growing up. And also when they grew up, they were farmers, so they were poor. Not from this country, but from another country.
Okay.
So they grow up and taking a break one day out of the week and going to a church as a community, and just come together as a family and, believing in Jesus Christ, which is our Lord and Savior.
Okay.
Would you believe that Jesus Christ did come to this earth back in 33 AD?
When you say came to this earth, I mean, I think he was probably a person at one point.
Well, then I'll
Maybe.
go to, have you ever read, you read books, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you love to read books, right?
We've both read the Bible.
Okay, great. And I mean, can I get your thoughts about reading the Bible? How did you read it front to back, or did you just skip through some of the stuff? Or
I personally read it front to back.
Oh, okay, great. A lot of people struggle with that, so that's huge. Props for you. And did you like it? How did it make you feel?
Can you tell me like what's your thesis statement here? Like, you started talking about being rich and poor. Like, what's your thesis statement? What's your claim?
Usually the wealthy, when they're the wealthy never needs God. Just like with friends, they had everything. So pretty much I wasn't given that stuff, but they would share their stuff. And those they would were giving everything, but they would fall into drugs because there was always something missing in their household.
So are you trying to claim that this means God is real, or is this like?
Yeah, God.
I know. I mean, Taylor understands sociology,
real.
so what? So I mean, are you just wanting to talk about the socioeconomic effects on religion?
Yeah, Dan, it kind of sounds like you're admitting that you think religion is like a comfort, like a
I never
think-
mentioned religion. But yeah,
You
religion does
did?
mention.
You did
is
mention
Yes,
religion?
you did.
You said you said
Well,
you were
you
talking.
mentioned it. You mentioned it. I mentioned church, but you mentioned religion.
That's religious. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, I said church. We would gather together
Yeah.
as a church
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
to
that's religion.
read God's word and to all
Mhm.
come together and read it together.
So
as a
what your
community.
argument is that rich people don't need God, so they become addicted to drugs? Do people
either
living in
addiction
poverty not
or,
fall into
or
addiction
to
too?
drive, or to also drive people as slaves for them to become more richer, just like
Okay, wait. I'm
like
sorry. I'm
YouTube.
going to stop you there,
We
Dan.
all-
Do any of your points, like, are you trying to
Makes sense.
demonstrate that God is real, or are you just wanting to
So
comment?
who would you assume that created the earth?
I don't think any
Nobody?
who created the earth.
So you wouldn't believe that God created the earth, right?
I don't believe in God.
I know you don't believe in God, but you wouldn't believe that He created the earth, right?
Well, 'cause
Right,
I-
if you don't believe in God, yeah.
So why do a lot of people, when they come to their deathbed or some huge sickness, they want Jesus Christ in their life, or they
No.
repent? their sins?
Are you trying to tell me you know that every single person before they die turns to God? You know that
Oh,
for a
yeah.
fact? Yeah, that's a lie.
I've seen it
You
with
don't
my
know
own
that.
eyes. I'm
cool.
not here to.
Okay, cool. You
I've
saw
seen
some people
people-
do that. That doesn't mean that every single person does that. You do recognize that, right?
No, it's true. Not everybody, but usually the most of the people do it. They do.
You don't have
when
enough
Okay, you-
information
do you
to
have-
say most.
They're asking
Do you
for
have-
a priest to confess.
Do you have the stats on
their
that?
sins.
Do you have the stats on that, or are you just pulling it out of thin air?
I don't need stats. I mean, I can get it to you next time. But
Sure,
why do
sure.
numbers have to really matter when there's only one true God?
Because I'm
Do you believe in demons? Do you believe in demons?
no.
So, Dan, if you
no.
want to make a
So-
claim that
so-
says
so when-
most
So when
people
someone
do something,
takes someone else's
you
life,
need
you
to
don't think that
actually
was that was
validate
a
that.
demon that caused?
hold on, I'm muting you for a second because we have a lot of comments that this might be a troll. But if you want to make a comment or a claim like most, then that is a statistical claim that you're making. And
Yeah.
so Taylor was asking you if you had the statistics because otherwise you're literally just making that up. And
Yeah, it's a
we
pretty
know
big
that-
claim.
and we know that you're wrong.
Am I? Oh, thank you for unmuting me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. So why do people get cut off on the news or get taken off the plane for the name of Jesus Christ?
Oh my God.
Because they're being annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, 'cause
exactly.
It's powerful. That's why. Because
Exactly.
there's demons around us. So when
Exactly, 'cause they're being annoying.
someone kills someone else, you don't think it's a demon that killed the other person.
No, I do not.
No, I think it's the human who did it.
Do you-
What are you talking about?
So you don't. So you know of this God, but you don't know the evil, the
What?
demons on the other side, right?
No,
Which
there's
it
no
happens
demon.
every
I
day.
don't-
Like
We don't.
there's people
we don't
that
believe
can
in
have
either
a
one.
normal conversation, and one of them can lose it, and you don't think it's a
Dan.
demon.
Dan, are you a troll?
Come on.
A troll? No, I don't know how to
Yes.
spell that. I never heard of that word.
Okay.
All right. That's yes.
And thank you for
All
calling me
right.
names because where's the respect in that?
Mm,
I didn't call you a name. I asked if you were a
You
troll.
just called me a troll.
No, she
You
asked
just asked me if I'm a troll.
I asked you
Yeah.
if you were a troll. I didn't call
So
you a
that's
troll.
just, you see the disrespect? So where's the respect
Mhm.
from you guys
I think we should
when I
probably
don't
let
even
him
call
go.
you guys names respectfully? You guys muted me, so where's the respect in that?
Oh no.
What if I don't respect what you're saying?
That's where we go back to. You are full of health, probably wealthy, but you always will need a man to change out a tire, right? Because
Wait,
or else they're just
this
gonna
whole
ask
thing
Google,
is going
or
in a
else they're
circle
gonna
because
ask
you think
Google,
we are
how do I
wealthy?
change out my tire?
Are you good? Are you drunk
Sometimes
right
we-
now?
I think he's under the influence of something for sure.
It's like
now you're
you're like
disrespecting that I'm doing drugs and alcohol. Come
you're
on,
all over the
geez.
place.
Oh,
You're all over the
Just so you
place. You
guys can get
can't.
more viewers and followers, and so you guys can feel good. That's fine. But there's
This
no
actually
respect
doesn't
from you
make me
guys
feel
calling me a
good. It
troll.
makes me feel like
And now that I'm
something's
under
not
the
right.
influence,
Well, why can't you keep a coherent like position? You're like flying all over the place, and I
why
can't even
can't you just
understand what
have
you're.
love and respect? Though, if I'm
Because
telling
you're
you
not.
there is a
It's hard
God
for me
and there's
to. It's hard for me to
demons,
do that when I don't even understand what you're saying. How am I supposed to interact with you when you can't form a coherent point?
no, but I don't. So I'll just end it with this. I don't have the power to change anybody or this world, but only
Yeah,
God
that's
does.
obvious.
And usually it happens when people come close to their deathbed or whenever they're in terrible sickness.
Yeah,
is-
that's made
There's a
up.
lot of sickness out there. That is
Yeah.
not made up. It happens every day. It
Yeah.
happens
All right.
everywhere
Goodbye,
in our lives.
Dan. We're saying goodbye.
Bye.
And it can happen to you.
What was that? I don't know. Like, I have a really hard time deciphering from trolls versus some other things that might not be right.
I
You know?
think he was a troll. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that was a troll.
That was really weird.
Yes, it was. Like, I think
That
if
was
he was
weird.
like eventually trying, the point he was trying to make was that we are atheists because he thinks we're wealthy.
I know. I thought that's what he was saying at first. I'm like, why would you just assume that?
Like,
Dude, like, hello, can you see my popcorn ceiling, bro? Right behind me? Rich people do not have popcorn ceilings.
right? Like,
hello.
please, wait, I want to show you how unstable my bookshelves are.
No, literally. It's like you can see my whole house in one shot. That's another thing too. Like that is it's so funny because I've had people say that to me before and I always get to point to my popcorn ceiling. It's perfection actually. I'm glad that I have it. It used to annoy me, not anymore. All right. Anyways, that was fun. Oh, I should do like something, like some kind of announcement. Hold on, guys. I'm getting better at this, I swear.
You got this.
I don't know if this is when I read the schedule, but this is what I'm gonna do it. Okay? So I'm gonna go find that real quick. Okay. All right. I think I have it right here. Okay. After the show, we have Jimmy and Javon. What's the show called? Do you know what the show's called, Sarah? It says.
Oh no.
Oh, is it Call In Now? Oh my gosh, I'm so silly.
The
Okay,
one tonight
that's after
is
this.
called Duologues because it's a debate show. It's a duel and a dialogue, and they're arguing with a couple of MAGA guys. So yeah, stick around for that, guys.
Yeah, stay for the duel. That's hardcore. Okay, and then tomorrow is the hangout with Matt Dillahunty and somebody. I'm not sure who else. Thursday, August 6th, we have TACIS with Lux and Josie. Then we have calling. Is it calling it now? Call in now? Calling it now.
Yeah, calling it now.
Okay. 5 p.m. with Ari and Lux. And then we have the line. Oh, just kidding. That was a joke. I didn't mean to read that. Friday, August 7th. It says that there's nothing, so maybe that's true. Saturday, August 8th is the Devangelicals with Justin and Thinker. One time, Alyssa called Justin, what does she call him? Destruction Zone. And I just always think of that now. I just think it's really funny. Okay, and then Sunday, August 9th, we have the Sunday show with Seth and Owen. And the Sunday show After Dark with Forrest and John. And then Calling It Now with Jimmy and Javon. And then on Monday, we have Skeptalk at 6 p.m. with, is it Aaron and Dr. Blitz? And then we have Calling It Now, 2 p.m. Why is it saying a different day? I'm getting you guys mixed up. I'm so sorry. I think that's on Monday. No, I was reading Monday. Oh my gosh, my brain. It's fine. Okay, and then on 2 p.m. on Monday is Jimmy with Calling It Now, and then yeah, and then we're back here. So fun stuff, and I think Alyssa will be back. All right. Now that I just got you guys all confused because that did sound confusing, we're gonna answer another call. Okay. Okay, we are going to bring in Ray from Georgia. How are you doing, Ray?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Good. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to make a disclaimer really quickly. I've only called in once before, and it was like a couple of months ago with Erica and Aaron, and the delay was so bad. I listened back to it. It was so embarrassing. I'm so sorry in advance if I like interrupt you guys.
No, we're so used to it. We know there's a delay, so no worries.
Okay. So I personally would identify as like an atheist, like borderline Gnostic atheist at this point. But I went through a phase after deconstructing at around like age like 18 to 20 where I'd consider myself like pantheist or spiritual. And my partner would still consider herself spiritual. And she sometimes talks about those things, like, and about her experiences with them. And I really want to be supportive, and I don't want to ever, like, make her feel like I think she's, like, dumb for believing the things that she believes, but I struggle to engage. And I know that you, Taylor, were in an interfaith relationship with your husband for a while before you deconstructed. And I want to know, like, what types of things, like, did your husband do for you, or like how he engaged with you in those conversations in ways that made you feel like supported?
Well, first I want to say that I don't think he was supportive or unsupportive. He kind of treated it like nothing really. Like we never really talked about it because I knew we didn't agree, and I feel like I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to admit the fact that I really wanted to be with someone who wasn't Christian, because I had always been told that was so wrong. But I will say one thing he really did to support me was when I was questioning, when I first started questioning and I was kind of spiraling and struggling with all of that, I did tell him, and he had a lot of empathy for me, even though he didn't believe it, and he really comforted me during that time. But the best thing he did was just let me think for myself and let me discover things for myself, because my whole life I've been told obviously what to believe and what to think. And for the first time ever, I felt like I was just around somebody who wanted me to figure it out for myself and didn't want to put their thoughts into my head, which was really, really nice. But I know that can look different for so many different kinds of relationships because the dynamics are so different. I think I just got really lucky, obviously, that I became an atheist too, because he had never been religious at all. And I think that's maybe another reason we didn't really talk about it, is maybe he didn't know how to interact with it that much, because that was never part of his life. But yeah, I know that's probably not helpful, but it did make me feel good that he never talked down to me or made me feel stupid. That was really something that was important to me. And I mean, I was even telling him that I thought dinosaurs and humans existed at the same time. So he could have made me feel stupid. But he didn't, which I really appreciate that he did that. So, but yeah, I think that's a good approach that you're already saying, of like not making them feel dumb for something that they believe, and instead maybe like gently having conversations about it. That stuff's really hard though. Like I said, I think I got it easy because of like how it turned out.
Yeah, because with her, like when we had started getting really close in the first place, she had already started deconstructing a little bit earlier than I had, because she grew up in a much less like restrictive Christian household than I did. I grew up like non-denominational. So it was easy for us to bond over that type of stuff because we saw things so similarly. Now when I see her talking about like she just got out of like like a domestic violence situation. So she attributes a lot of her, her survival and her comfort to like divine intervention and stuff. And I really love to talk about this type of stuff with her because I want to support her through it. But the moment she's like, I truly believe that there was divine intervention, I literally don't know what to say, and I feel terrible. But I guess maybe probably the best way to go about it is to just like no comment. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you ever ask, I mean, maybe you already said this, do you ask her specifics as to why she thinks those things?
I have in the past, and it's just like, I've never been the type of person to actually have any supernatural experiences, and she has had things that she believes have been supernatural experiences, and those are the types of things that, it feels not very purposeful to kind of like try and dig into them when she's not really wanting to question it because she is so convinced. And I totally get that. There are a couple of things that are that I find myself having a lot of cognitive dissonance with as well. Like, I don't actually believe that souls exist, but there are a few things that are like, but what if ghosts do exist? But like logically they couldn't if I don't believe in souls. So it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, yeah, I do, like I said, everybody's going to be different, but I do remember my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, would ask me kind of like specific questions of like, why do you feel that way? Not that he really gave much feedback, but sometimes like walking it or saying stuff out loud, I think made me think a lot more of why I believed what I believe. Yeah, that's really hard though. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. Sarah, did you ever deal with anything like that?
That is really hard. And, I think for all of us who've deconstructed, you're not going to be ready to question it until you're ready to question it. And someone like trying to push you down that way isn't really going to be helpful. So, I mean, I think, what you're doing, like allowing them to say what they think and what they feel, and it's safe for them, to do that. Like, they know you're not going to make fun of them or make them feel stupid. I think that leaves the door open for if and when they want to question it, they know that it's safe. Like, they know that you're not going to say, I told you so or anything. So I think what you're doing sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say, Ray?
I said, oh, yeah, like that's the worst feeling is like finally coming to a realization and people are like, I told you. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah,
figured
for
it out
sure.
now.
But yeah, I agree with Sarah that you're creating the best space for them to even feel safe to question whatever it is that they might question down the road. Because, I mean, it's so ingrained in religion to not question, really. They say you can, but if you come to a different conclusion, they make it seem like obviously you weren't supposed to come to that conclusion. So I would argue it never really feels safe to question religion. So yeah, I think that's great that you're, being a safe space for them because they might really need that in the future.
Yeah. Mildly off topic about that. I will hang up in just a minute because I think we've ended that discussion, I suppose. Mildly off topic, in the vein of people say that you can question religion, but you actually can't. I feel like a lot of the time, at least for maybe people who don't think as deeply into the religion, my mom is a biblical literalist, but she genuinely just it isn't something that she feels a need to think about. I think for people like that, it's kind of because they genuinely don't see there being a possibility that you could come to a different conclusion. So it's not necessarily they don't think that you're not allowed to. They just think there is no possible way to come to a different conclusion, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I obviously grew up fundamentalist. So same, everybody around me thought every single thing in the Bible actually happened and that the earth was only like, what, 6,000 years old or something. And I do remember growing up pretty much thinking what you said too, because if you're surrounded by all of those people all the time, like that is what you're constantly surrounded with, there is no other explanation. So that's another aspect, is being exposed to different things, because I think my big thing was I was being exposed to a lot of different things since I was going to college and getting out of my parents' house and getting out of my small town, and that definitely helps. But I think you're right. I think that definitely plays a big role, especially with fundamentalists, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for the conversation.
Thanks for
I hope
calling,
it was
Ray.
coherent. I'm coming off of my ADHD meds right now. So.
It was
No, you
so
did great.
coherent. Yeah, it was good.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a nice night. I really love watching your show. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. It's interesting because I get a lot of people ask me about that, like interfaith relationships or marriages. And I also have a lot of people ask me, in theory, if I would ever date a Christian. Now, no. But it's just so interesting how before, obviously, it was the opposite. But
I want to know if the men who do what we do get asked if they would date a Christian, or is it just women who get asked that question?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question to the question. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm wondering if it's something that people are just asking women. Would you ever date a Christian?
Right. Yeah, maybe. Probably definitely more often, at least. And guys, you can still call in, all right? You can still call in because we got time.
We do.
So if you want to call at 720-619-2288. And are you ready to take another call? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I will remember it eventually.
I think we're almost ready. This person isn't like on the
Oh my
thing.
gosh, thank you for saying that, because I've done that before and I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know. I totally know.
My brain starts turning to mush like about an hour in, so
that's why I have caffeine with me, because I'm like, I need to stay
I
focused.
always want to do that, but then I'm afraid I will not go to sleep after.
Yeah.
But I used to drink an energy drink during, and I think I need to go back to that because that was kind of nice.
I don't think I could handle a whole energy drink. Like, this probably has, I don't know, maybe 60 milligrams or something, but like an energy drink, that could be like 150 to 200. I think that would be too much for me.
Yeah, energy drinks, I bet I drink about like a quarter at a time. If I were to drink the whole thing, my heart would stop. Like, it would actually just stop.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, guys, call in, especially theists. I'm always begging theists to call in. And last week, they showed up.
Nice.
So I will thank them for that. But you can always come back this week too. And the week after that. And the week after that.
Oh, now you can do that one. Matthew.
Okay, cool. Is that Missouri or Mississippi?
Michigan.
Michigan. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I was so wrong. Okay, we have Matthew from Michigan. How are you, Matthew?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Making it through. What do you want to talk about?
Awesome. We can talk about God, but I really called in just to talk about evolution.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
She said something about evolution, and then my deep studies in it, honestly, which you guys can disagree with it, but I'll still state them, if that's cool.
Okay.
Okay. So, evolution is just disproved. There's not one fact that presents itself.
Matthew, 1 second. You're really staticky sounding, or it sounds like it's popping. Is it on speaker or anything, or is it just...
Oh, I had my I was too far away from the phone. Can you hear me now?
I think it's fine. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. So I was just saying that the French scientists from the RAPE project in France, and they did a lot of studies all over the world with radiometric dating, and they proved that crystal lattice structures are permeable, where we're taught that they are unpermeable. But if the crystal lattice structures and rock formations are permeable, that means that over 30,000 years that the test is inaccurate. So actually, the lower forms of radiometric dating, like argon, potassium 40, and carbon 14, are actually more accurate by 20,000 years. So there's no way they can date the Earth anything past 50,000 years because of the fact that crystal lattice structures are permeable.
Permeable?
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And I can go on and on with this.
Okay. So let me ask you something. What is your highest level of science education?
I'm a self-educated person. I've wrote 42 fields of new study. I have my own education
I'm sorry,
curriculum.
what?
I
You've
wrote a law
written-
franchise.
Wait.
I am a
Matthew, what do you mean you've
author.
written 42 new fields of study? What does that mean?
Just like I wrote a new field of study like called computational inerrancy, or just strategic analysts. I have it on my YouTube. I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm not big or anything. I'm just talking about the evolution.
Okay, so just so we're using the same terms, you came up with ideas and you're calling them an entire field of study?
No, that was absolute fact from French scientists, which they are the leading in the world. They make our research in radiometric dating with isotopes and look like babies because they're so advanced. It's called the RAPE project.
Okay. So you have
From the
never
Soho-
published in any scientific journals, correct?
Say that again?
Have you ever published in any scientific journals?
No, but I've wrote dissertations and I release them constantly.
Do you know what a
And
dissertation
I do get peer
is?
reviewed, and regardless, that what I said is an absolute fact. And
Wait. I'm sorry. Do you know
I
what a
can get into
dissertation
it.
is?
Say that again, ma'am.
Do you know what a dissertation is?
Yeah, of course. I just said I wrote many of them.
So people write dissertations at the end of their PhD studies. If you had written multiple dissertations, you should have earned
Every
multiple
time I
PhDs.
finished my field of study, I wrote the dissertation on them and released them. I'm on LinkedIn and everything. I'm actually developed my own AI models. I do a lot of things. I'm a hardware developer and a software developer, ma'am.
So you just you just do this for yourself? You write the dissertation for yourself?
I just come up here just because I like to share knowledge and truth. So I just wanted to point out some anomalies.
Okay. So if you think do you think evolution is false then?
Yes, absolutely.
And so you think that all of the evolutionary biologists who are publishing in this field, are they all confused?
Of course they're wrong. I can explain it because
I want you to
single-cell organisms.
Wait. Yeah, Matthew, before we get into the details, before you get into the details, I want you to paint the bigger picture here. So there are, I don't know, tens of thousands of evolutionary biologists that work for different organizations.
We'll point out one fact.
No,
Give me
Matthew,
one fact, and I never.
Matthew,
I muted
Matthew,
him.
1 second. Whenever you come back to talking, try and either back up from your phone or try something else because your phone is it sounds awful. The crack on it is unbearable. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
So before you dive in to the details, my question is that across the globe, there are tens of thousands of evolutionary biologists, and they work for different universities, different governments, different organizations. And for evolution to be false, all of those different people with different motivations would either all have to be confused and mistaken, or all be in on some global conspiracy for which I don't know what the benefit would be. So are you claiming one of those two things?
No, it's just when you actually get the evidence, you actually see that these people you're talking about are indeed a religious white coat priest society, because they don't have any facts.
And what's the cult? What's the motivation there?
To get taxpayers, they want people to continue paying for their evolutionary educations and things like that. And get the taxpayer to pay for them.
If that was the case, why wouldn't they just teach the truth and make money off of that instead?
Because they don't want you to know the truth.
Why not?
Why?
Well, because the truth is hard to swallow, and they rather use it for their own benefit. I'm sad to tell you that, but that's the truth.
It doesn't benefit people. And like I said previously, you said something about tax dollars, but research is funded through multiple different types of mechanisms. Some of it's private dollars, and you're talking about all different governments. So what American scientists are doing and how they're funded is going to be completely different from how scientists in another country are. So it doesn't make sense that there would be such global coordination amongst the whole world's evolutionary biologists.
Well, that's because you don't see the big picture. The thing is, we're a constitutional republic, of course, but we have definitely made a stance to close the borders and get our sovereignty. But, the United Nations they didn't recognize borders and sovereignty of any country.
What does that have to do with anything we're talking about?
I'm explaining, ma'am. This does go with this. So if I can finish my sentence.
Go for it.
Okay. So, the managerial class that don't recognize borders are the Westminster London elite, and everything comes out of London. They control the fiat currency. They control the federal education system.
I don't care about conspiracy theories, Matthew. I'll be so honest. I'm not interested in debating these conspiracy theories. It's a bunch of nonsense. Is there anything you want to say that has substance?
Rose Martin.
Or anything?
First of
all, Matthew, back up from your speaker because it sounds like you're spitting in your speaker. It's like doing that popping noise, if you know what I mean. So try and I don't know if you need to switch it to speaker or off speaker or what you need to do, but it's kind of hard to listen to. But I don't want to debate conspiracy theories because there is no proof you can provide me for what you're saying. So there's no reason to even discuss it. There isn't.
I just
do you even know any scientists?
Because you
Matthew,
don't believe them.
Do you know any scientists personally?
Biology proves that life can
do
never
you
start
know
from
any scientists personally?
Single cell organisms.
Do you know any scientists personally?
I have credentials. Even if I didn't,
no. That's
what if
not
I
what
was
I'm asking.
a total uneducated
so is the
person
answer
that came
yes
up here with
or
a
no?
question?
Matthew, do you
what
know
if I was
any
totally
scientists?
Uneducated? It doesn't even matter what I am.
I'm not trying to. Okay. I'm guessing the answer is no. And if you knew scientists, you would be more familiar with how scientific publication works and how what you're saying.
I am a physicist, by the way, and I actually, like I said, wrote a dissertation on my new study on how
Where did you get your
figured out
PhD
the
from?
helium retention.
Matthew, back up from the mic. You're killing us.
I know, but what you
Where'd
just
you
said,
get your
I'm
PhD?
actually studying that.
Where'd you get your PhD?
AI.
I'm self-proclaimed.
Okay, so then that's not what I'm talking about, the formal, actual scientific publication process, not YouTube videos.
It's the knowledge. Okay? Like, if I want to go fill out a resume, I don't have to. I just...
Matthew, why should we believe you over literally every scientist? That doesn't make any sense.
No. Well, and what I was trying to tell him, I muted him. What I was trying to tell him is that he's making all these claims about how scientific publication works, but his conspiracy theory doesn't make any sense with how publication works. The peer review process and
right,
like different journals are funded differently. Like and so none of this makes sense with how science works. So Matthew, if you publish your own stuff, cool. But if you're going to make claims about how you think science works, then you're going to have to face the reality of how science works.
Okay, so now that you said that, I understand how science works. So if I didn't, that's what would make me wrong. If I'm citing mainstream consensus,
I'm not talking about citations. Matthew, I'm not talking about citations. I'm talking about what is the process a scientist goes through in order to get published. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, I'm saying let's talk about the evolution.
It's important, Matthew, it's important because you're trying to make a claim that all these scientists are together in some kind of conspiracy. And if you understood how scientific publication works, then
when you hear these facts, it leads to believe that's what the case is.
Stop yelling. It's making the popping so much worse.
You're scared of what I'm about to say. That's it.
And what are you about to say that we're
scared? You guys are running, but you're very kind. I'll say that.
Okay, why don't you calmly tell us your thesis then?
Okay, well, stalactites and stalactites can't form over millions of years because, and they give you these deep time clock models when we know it's not about the time, but the flow rate of minerals. So even a small drip of water accumulates about a pound of limestone a year. So it's the flow rate of minerals. And if you look at like the Mammoth Fountain, it produces 22,000. It produces 2.2 tons of limestone a day, and it has about 750,000 tons on the area. And
Matthew,
so it couldn't be more than 1,000 years old, but they have a 300,000 to 500,000 date on it when they can't prove it.
Can you hear me?
So, yes.
Can you please pull your face away from your microphone? You're hurting everybody's ears with the static.
Oh, is this better?
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's just your phone. I don't.
Okay. So here's the thing, Matthew. My scientific expertise is in human physiology. So I don't know anything about stalactites and stalagmites. So I don't know. I'm not going to debate you on that.
I can move on from that.
So what I was asking, like when I said, what's your thesis? Like what I meant was, are you saying evolution is false?
Yes.
And you're saying that in order to make that claim,
I wrote a book on it.
Evolutionary.
I already posted
Matthew, let me finish.
It's on my YouTube notes.
Okay. I had to mute you again because you wouldn't let me finish. In order to make that claim, you would have to demonstrate that all the evolutionary biologists are either lying or confused. Otherwise, you can't make the claim. Right? So you have to defend the fact that either all of the evolutionary biologists across the world are either lying or they're confused. And it sounded like you picked lying, and you said that they were in some conspiracy. And I was trying to explain to you that I am familiar with scientific publishing, and the conspiracy theory that you said makes no sense. And so we are staying on your main point. And your main point is that you think evolution is false, but you haven't demonstrated any way that that could practically be possible.
Chris, I just gave you radiometric dating that the rock structures.
Okay, you didn't listen to a thing I said.
Yes, I did. I said that it's false. Yeah, and I can prove it. I can prove it. I wrote a book on it, ma'am.
Okay, should we drop this guy?
Yeah, because
I wrote a book called The Taxonomy of the Truth and The Depth of the Evolution.
All right. Thanks for calling, Matthew. We're gonna move on.
Oh, you guys are weak. Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, that was wild.
Someone said, like, in the future, can we drop the call if it sounds like this? Yes, we just didn't have that many calls, so I was trying to hang in there. But yeah, that was rough. I was trying to like figure out a way for him to fix it, but I don't even think he was listening to even that. Why do I feel like I am high on drugs tonight listening to these people talk? I feel like it's turning my brain to mush. Okay. Anyways. I don't know what's going on, but it is a very weird night.
This is a weird night.
It really is. And I feel bad that you like came on and this is what you got. Like this is like it's like we're just tripping on some kind of acid right now. Okay. We have one more call. There's that fruit fly again, and then we'll go to super chats. Okay. So we're gonna bring in Elliot from New Mexico. Hi, Elliot.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Yeah, you had some calls, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's some interesting calls. It's a really weird night. I don't know what's going on, what's in the air, but something. Maybe it's a full moon or something. I don't know.
It could be. Thankfully, I'm at least trying to be a hopefully not a crazy call. Hopefully. Actually, but well, like you probably see on there, I'm curious about both yours and Sarah's, like how your experience has been in the skeptic movement, just as women, because I know that it's been I know that like the hardcore Christian sects are rough, but I know there's been a real problem of misogyny and whatnot in the skeptic community that's getting better in recent years, but it's definitely not been great.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad from my experience, but I also don't like. I know I do this show, but I don't really debate like that often, and I only do this for like those kind of reasons. I'm not really into like the actual live debating typically, and I think it is pretty rough out there for women, if I'm being honest. I think that I learned very quickly that just because a guy is atheist or ex-Christian doesn't mean he's not sexist, which is rough. But yeah, I think it's not great because I also have been through phases where I really loved watching debates, and I would see the reactions from chats or how the debaters interacted with the other debaters that were women, and it was kind of jarring to me because I went from, one community that was really sexist thinking that I went into something else, but yeah, I was naive when it came to that. What's your experience been, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the worst of it is the comments I get from who I assume are Christians. Sometimes they say that they are, and sometimes they don't. But it is such a different experience going live on YouTube versus on TikTok. On TikTok, I get a lot of angry Christians who attack my arguments or my position. But on YouTube, when I'm just live and like just chatting, I have to like put a lot of restrictions on the comments because I get so many who sound like 15-year-old boys just saying the grossest things. And And so
Yeah.
that was also kind of jarring. And I think that's probably a universal experience for women on the internet.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good point that I missed is how different it is between platforms, and depending on who you're interacting with and what their audience is like too makes a huge difference. But yeah, it doesn't help that typically we're debating Christian men because then their fan bases are often really bad. But yeah, I see it from both sides though, because I've noticed there's a big sexism issue within, like, you know, I don't know what you want to call them, like the Phil Bro types
Oh, yeah.
that aren't religious, and then there's also the religious people who are very sexist. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there still are not a lot of women in the debate space in general. So I feel like that's still a thing that needs progress.
Yeah, I'm sure you've experienced this too, how like I noticed this, and commenters will say stuff about it too. When I'm co-hosting with a guy, you know, you'll see it, you know, if I co-host with Justin or Dalton or somebody, and when a man calls in, especially if the man is argumentative, the way that they will speak to Justin or Dalton is totally different than the way that they'll speak to me.
Right.
And I agree. I think there's still this sort of underlying misogyny of when a man comes and speaks authoritatively, people give him, you know, credit for being knowledgeable. But when a woman comes and speaks authoritatively, it's received really differently.
Yeah, and another thing I've noticed is there are so many conversations I have with men where we're debating something, and they will call every single point I bring up emotional.
Oy.
But it's weird because there are so many times where it's not emotional at all, and nothing I'm talking about relates to emotions. But I also think emotions have a time and place, which I won't even get into that. But it's really annoying because I have noticed that specifically when they're interacting with women, they say it way more often than when they're talking to men. And they do this thing also when they're debating. If they talk like this, if they talk monotone the entire time, then they think they're really smart, and then you're really emotional because you're not monotone. Like, that's how they talk the whole time. And I feel like they think it makes them seem like an intellectual. And so if I'm talking back to them and I have any kind of emotion, they think that's like a big gotcha moment because women are so emotional and can't control their emotions. It's so annoying.
I think, it's, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
Taylor,
go ahead.
But it reminds me of, because I was listening last week when Martin called in. He does that exact same thing. Pure monotone, but everything that's coming out of his mouth is complete bullshit. But he's monotone, therefore intellectual.
Therefore, he's right. Yeah.
And like I've heard you guys too. Like and it seems to me that every time that men like call out and say that you're being emotional, they're usually engaging in some kind of emotional argument themselves. Like that's, I don't know, that's what I've kind of noticed, and it's wild.
Right. Right.
But,
I've heard that a lot. Like if we're arguing about morals or something, and, you know, I will be indignant about the death of children and, you know, oh, you're being so emotional and so illogical. But when I know it's a whole thing, but when it comes down to it, then when you really get into why they believe in God and why God's so important, it ends up being, well, I can feel God talking to me and it feels true. And when you really dig down, their whole faith is based on an emotion. And yet they're criticizing us for expressing emotions. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot with Christian men where they completely can't see their own emotional side to it because you're right. A lot, like it is so emotional. Faith and the belief is so emotional. And I get told all the time that atheism is an emotional stance. And I'm just trying a hard time figuring out what is emotional about it, because I feel like it's kind of void of any emotion. It's not up to me. I just don't believe a God claim, you know?
I'll just say, as somebody, I've been an atheist for most of my life, and I'm like going, yeah, one day when I realized I was an atheist, it wasn't like this big epiphany. It was, I don't think I believe in God. Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I think Christians like to picture us like stomping our feet and saying, I'm mad at God, and that's why I'm an atheist. And we know that that's not the case.
Oh yeah,
right.
Of course. How it's not logical for us to not believe in God. No.
Right. And I feel like the emotional argument is always, oh, you want to sin. Oh, you don't want accountability. Oh, you don't. And it's like, what is accountability? Saying sorry to a hypothetical being, that's your version of accountability. I don't even think that's being accountable in the first place. But yeah, I always found it interesting that they have to make up a story for you in their heads for their arguments to even sound coherent. Like, I'm this rebellious person just wanting to sin. I'm like, I'm home 90% of the time. I crochet. I what big sin am I doing that I couldn't do?
Sorry, Taylor, but you are sinning with that crocheting. Oh boy, that's a mark of a sinner right there.
I'm whipping up some very devious things over here. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I don't know. I think you need to go. You need to go to the corner and pray or something.
I know. Tell me about it. But yeah, we appreciate you calling in. But yeah, that's very much a thing, unfortunately. And yeah, definitely varies from app to app. That is for sure. Speaking of which, I feel like the worst app, I don't know if you're on there, Sarah, is X. X scares me.
Oh, like, I don't do X.
It's horrifying. Sometimes I get on there and it is actually like, every time I get on there, I lose a little bit of faith in humanity. So I try not to go on there, but it's really scary over there.
No, I don't do it. Nope, absolutely not.
It is a cesspool.
If it makes you feel any better, the bulk of them are probably bots now.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right about that. All right. Well, I guess we'll get to super chats. Yeah, thanks for calling, Elliot.
Hey, no problem. Both of you are doing a great job, by the way, and have a good one.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I don't know if we're couple minutes. Okay. I don't know how to pull this thing up.
I think we do you pull it up or do we?
I think I'm supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
look, you did it.
Oh,
that was me.
I was gonna be like, haha, yeah, I did it. Look at that. No, I'm just kidding. $5 from Nikki. Scientific theories are not the same.
Colloquial. I got you.
Theories. That word is always hard for me. I cannot. It is not a guess. It's a series of facts. Guests need to stop confusing the two.
Oh my God. Yes. That is the bane of my existence. People saying it's just a theory.
And it doesn't help either when you explain it because they just don't give a shit.
Uh-huh. Okay, $5 from Meg says, and here comes the mansplaining from John. Taylor and Sarah are saints for putting up with this level of him motions.
That's a new slang word I've never heard. $10 from Kelly Bean. John's a piece of work. How condescending he can be. Yeah, the mansplaining gets pretty serious over here.
Indeed.
It's good times.
Hedonista says, my solution to plain preachers, I have the exorcism text from Supernatural that's in Latin bookmarked. I'll exorcise her, call her demons, but I'm definitely not giving them back.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm guessing the person was talking about that video that happened recently.
That woman is bananas. Like,
she's obnoxious as hell.
It's such a different level than all the other plain preaching videos I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one, like, she's filming herself. She's yelling and yelling and yelling. And then she
like, it's for attention.
Oh,
yeah. It's for views. It's so obnoxious.
Absolutely.
Someone said, I can't pronounce vulnerable to save my life. So you're good, Taylor. There are some words. There was one the other day, and I'm not going to say it because I repeated it probably like hundreds of times that day because I'm like, I will say this word. I will. But there are some words that my brain, I don't know if I'm dyslexic or what, but it's really hard. Anyways, $10 from Space Trap, $5 for Taylor, and $5 for Sarah for their PTSD from John and Dan. Thanks.
Elliot says, or $5 from Elliot. Taylor, you have to understand, Jesus wanted you to have a man to change your tire. Clearly.
Oh my gosh. That conversation was all over the place. I couldn't even I feel like 2 of those callers, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't even.
That guy was bonkers.
Yeah. There was either some crazy or some drunkenness happening. I think I was just a little crazy though. $10 from Legally Mod. Today I misgave a guy on the street my number after he complimented my dress. If it wasn't that time of month, I hadn't been reading about the trans panic defense, I might have given it a trans panic defense. Is that something that has happened recently, or has that always been a thing? Like, is that a law?
The trans panic defense?
Not a law, but
yeah, I mean, it's basically like, someone, usually a cis man, like murders his trans woman partner. Typically, like it's usually not a stranger situation, actually. And then just being like, oh my God, I was so freaked out about the fact that she was trans. And then it's basically like, I guess it's kind of similar to pleading insanity or something where it's like, oh, I just freaked out, or it's like, oh, I blacked out, or I don't know what happened.
Well, that's disgusting.
And so basically it's only been outlawed in the states that you would assume that would have outlawed something like that proactively. Yeah.
That was my next question. That makes a lot of sense. Well, that's disturbing. I'm disappointed, but not surprised.
Cousins with the gay panic defense, of course.
Fair. Yeah. But, Real Marcus says he got a PhD from Dunning and Kruger and wrote dissertations for both.
True.
Yep. No argument.
I can't with the super elaborate conspiracy theories. It just gets me in a way that other things don't. But I'm just like, why are we sitting here debating reality? I mean, I know that is kind of what we do, but religion, I think I have way more tolerance for religion than I do the elaborate conspiracy theories, even though they share a lot of similarities. But $5 from Kelly Bean. What the hell is going on tonight with these callers? Matthew's clearly under the influence of something, likely bullshit. Yeah, I mean, that's $1 million question. What is it?
Herbie Shine says, oh, for funk's sake, another John call. Looks like I choose the wrong week to quit drugs. Wait, that's leaving Sarah Faith person lady. It was a weird vibe from him. Like he wanted to argue, but then he just wanted to like chat and hang out. And it was,
I know. I wasn't sure what the stances were there.
I have noticed, because I've been editing a bunch of clips recently, that we have a lot of Johns who call. Is that because they're just giving a fake name, or
probably?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
That would make sense.
I feel like most people probably give a fake name now that I think about it. When I say most, I mean people who really want to argue about something, but I don't know. I could be wrong. $10 from Electbass. I don't know, 100. I'll donate $10 more if Matthew backs off the mic. Joelle. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I wish I knew what that was specifically so I could tell people what to do, but I don't know what causes that, unfortunately.
Same.
Maybe he's literally just making out with the mic the whole time and that's his issue, but I can't tell if he's just too close.
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating in that, like, they probably don't have like equipment, which it's not their fault. Dusk Frame $5 says, if you get something in the mail from Matthew, do not open it.
I'm gonna tell me twice. Pooh Head 60. $6.66. I love Tay Tay and Sarah, but I don't love most of the callers. The dude from New Zealand and Ray were cool, but oh my dog, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Yeah, it was just a really weird night.
We went with laughing. We decided laughing was a good option.
Yeah, exactly. It's either that or I yell at them. So,
Dusty Oh no, duty and courage with $5 says, can we add a rule that if your mic sounds like that, you don't take the call? I mean, it's
it's hard. It's hard when we don't really have many callers, but I think next time I'm gonna force them to address it instead of them just ignoring me and like trying something else.
It seemed like he did get it together in the pre-show. I was like, hey, your audio is doing this thing. And he was like, oh, let me take you off of speakerphone. And then it sounded better. And I was like, okay, cool. But I think that, I don't know, somebody in the chat said during that call that this is one of the things that trolls do on purpose. So I don't know if they make their audio super shitty on purpose as part of the bit.
That's fun. Good to know and freaking weird to know. $5 from Space Barbarian. Matthew's microphone is conspiring against him. He needs to resolve that conspiracy before anyone can physically listen to him. Yeah, really. And it's like you're smart in all these things, but you can't figure out how to make that's probably why they are a troll. Yeah.
$5 from SJL. Sarah said, let me finish to Matthew, and he said no. That maybe should be an automatic drop.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard him say no. Now, to be fair, I did mute him quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Homespun cover, $4.99. Monotone is monotonous.
Monotonous.
Monotonous. Oh my god. What?
Like
when I was talking about being monotone earlier. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Elect Bass says electric bass guitar. Yes. $10 more after all, because why should I make it contingent on whether Matthew backs off his mic or keeps his volume constant? Interrupting #emotions. Love it. F off.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to chill and take what super chats come in for the next few minutes and then pass it off to the debate.
Sarah, who painted the things behind you?
Oh, I did.
Oh, I love that. Thanks. I love the alpacas or llamas. I think they're alpacas though, right?
I don't, let's see. Llamas, alpacas, I don't know. These are my animals. Oops, wait, the mirror gets.
Wait, do you have real ones?
No, I'm not that cool.
I wish. I was like, put them on, bring them in here right now. No, I'm just kidding.
And then this guy is a little frog guy.
Love. That's so cute. I love that. Do you paint for fun, like pretty often?
Not super often. It's more like a thing that like my friends do when we don't know what else to do. Like we'll go paint, and there's this studio that like lets you just come in and paint whatever. Like you don't, it doesn't, it's really cheap, and like you only just pay for the materials. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
£5 from Herbie Shine. I'm watching at 2x speed and I've got to Matthew's call. Wow, these people are ... special. Looks like big looks like big choose the wrong week to quit. Am I
don't know that word.
Tripping?
I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm tripping. You're right about that.
And from Lizzie Dog for $10. My dogs awarded me my PhD. They also tell me birds and squirrels aren't real. Love y'all. So I love the fact that guy was like, I published my dissertation. Okay, well,
for yourself?
Yeah.
Well, I think somebody like he mentioned AI, right? Maybe he's going through some AI psychosis shit. $5 from Foxhound Games. To be fair, I doubt Matthew lets any woman finish. Love you both and Lux. You're funny. That's a good one. Love that.
William Matz, $5. Higadus Wrigley from Prestidigitatorium. Oh, I know what that is.
I'm so glad you got that and not me. Holy shit. What is that?
It's from The Sword and the Stone, where there's this scene where Merlin is like packing up his little cabin and like all the things shrink, and he's like, piggity piggity prestidigitatorium.
Yeah, I do not know that. I do not know that. Thank God you had that. Holy. That would have sent me in. That would have been my final straw, probably. I probably would have lost my freaking mind. Oh my God. Do you watch House of the Dragon?
No, I don't. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I'll forgive you for this. But it puts me in emotional turmoil. They have me emotionally connected to CGI dragons, and it's like embarrassing. I get sick to my stomach when they get hurt.
I agree.
I can't watch any show where animals get hurt. It's too hard.
I know. And they were getting severely hurt in the last one, and I kept having to tell myself, it's CGI.
I totally understand that. Absolutely.
I get too emotionally invested in media. It's sad, but it's okay.
No, it's oh wow.
Oh, thanks, Mace. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. Sara is flappable only when Sara wants to be flappable. Nice try, trolls. And anger is righteous sometimes. This denomination is dedicated to Foxhound Games for the sick burn, brightening the day. Thank you. The line. Oh, thank you. That was such a generous. Sorry, I couldn't even say your username. Gosh.
Thank you.
I swear I know how to say it. I really do.
Oh, and Elliot with $5 says, shout out to Lux, who has always been amazing as the producer, screener. They rock. Yay!
Yes.
Love y'all.
Absolutely.
Lux is the best god that we could ever have. Speaking down from above.
I was looking to see if Checkers is in. If anyone wants to see.
I think I asked you this, but how old is Checkers?
I don't know. So she was a surrender, and so I don't know. I've had her for 3 years.
Oh wow.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know.
I love Checkers. I'm a Checkers stan.
I'll see if I can find her. Hang on.
Yes, good Checkers.
Rex, what are you doing? Oh, there you are.
Does anybody else in the chat have bunnies? I want to know how many bunny owners are out there.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to have bunnies, but not the way you have bunnies.
What do you mean?
Oh, I am fantasize about raising bunnies to eat them and have their
No,
furs.
Lux, no. Oh, Checkers. How could you eat that face? Lux, look at Checkers.
Face.
So pretty and so fluffy, and I want to keep the skin.
No. Checkers, I love you. Don't listen to Lux.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Wait, is Checkers a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I think girl pets are the best. I'm biased, but I only have one son, my boy bunny, but apparently it's because they get along better if they're like opposite sexes.
Oh, that's probably why my bunnies don't get along. They're both
girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're
cute. You know what the crappiest thing though about having something like a bunny is having to go to an exotic vet.
Oh my God, yes.
It sucks so bad. And if I ever take like one of my bunnies or guinea pigs to the vet, I know it's going to be $200, no less than $200. Oh my gosh. Something goes wrong and I'm like, well, can't wait to go spend $200 now today. Yep. Love.
100%.
Because bunnies are just so exotic.
I know, right?
So I also forgot to tell you guys to, check out our Patreon and stuff. Do that. $5 from William Mates. I wouldn't eat the face. I'd eat the meat. Ew. Stop. I will not take this slander on here. I will not take this slander. None of the bunny slander.
You offended?
She's offended. You can tell.
I'm definitely offended.
She's like, how freaking dare you? My bunnies hate being held.
She's like not thrilled about it. Like she's okay, but she's not thrilled about it.
My boy bunny, if I hold him and then put him down, he thumps his feet every single time. He gets so mad and he'll start thumping, but he won't put up a fight at all. He like goes, what is it? Flight, freeze, or fawn or whatever. He just freezes.
Yeah.
But then he'll tell you that he's mad after the fact.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I love it. And then my other bunny just will not let me pick her up at all. She gets so pissed.
Yeah.
She'll fight back, like actually fight back.
That's what Meatball does. She like kicks really hard. You're like, I'm sorry.
Wait, they can't, so they don't like live together, right? I think you told me that.
Yeah, one's on like the main floor and one's on the like basement floor.
You tried to bond them though?
Yeah, they were not happy about it. Were you?
Are they your first bunnies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, love.
Okay, everybody, it's time.
Okay, it's time. So
awesome. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and thanks to Lux and the screeners and everybody. You're awesome. We love you. And stay for the duel. Watch the duel. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna watch it while I do some chores. So stick around.
Woohoo.
And all of the things. And come back next Tuesday. Sorry tonight was scary.